me relax. Let's relax. Let's start at the beginning. Paige Beckers, the biggest superstar the WNBA has ever seen in the last 8 months. Paige Beckers arrives and gets 6,251 people in attendance. Oh my God, it was flooded. It was flooded. The College Park Center was flooded with people. Oh, maybe it wasn't flooded.
Paige Bueckers pulled up to her first game expecting roaring fans, flashing lights, and maybe a confetti cannon or two. But instead, crickets, empty seats, enough space to host a yoga retreat. And let's just say she erupted harder than a soda bottle in a science fair. Was it disrespect? A scheduling fail? Or has hype inflation finally burst? Whatever it was, Paige let the world know she's not here for tumbleweeds and silence. Buckle up. This clapback deserves its own highlight reel.
Opening night for Paige Beckers again with Dallas versus Minnesota on Friday. Let's just say it didn't go very, very well for Paige Beckers. The double standard is real. The double standard is in your face. The double standard was put all over the place. You know that there is a double standard when you want to compare Caitlin Clark to...
So Paige Bueckers finally gets her big moment, steps onto the court with enough talent to make a basketball cry tears of joy, and what greets her? A sea of empty chairs. Not fans, not screaming supporters, folding chairs. It looked less like a game and more like a WNBA-themed rehearsal dinner, and just like that, the universe reminded everyone that being great doesn't automatically come with a packed house. Unless, of course, your name is Caitlin Clark.
By the way, I don't know what Ion Network was trying to do last night. The broadcasters said at least twice that the game was sold out. And that was not true. All right? That was not true.
Caitlin Clark sneezes and 20,000 people show up just to bless her. She laces up her sneakers and StubHub crashes under the weight of desperate fans selling kidneys to afford tickets. The Fever Games are starting to feel less like basketball and more like Beyoncé concerts with a three-point line. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers, who has enough skill to make seasoned defenders reevaluate their career choices, is out here giving highlight reel performances to an audience that looks like it wandered in by mistake after searching for the food court.
Caitlin Clark's preseason debut drew 1.3 million viewers. Oh God. Oh goodness gracious. More watch than any NBA preseason game since 2018.
The contrast is so brutal it deserves its own documentary. On one side, Caitlin Clark is personally inflating the economy of Indiana. On the other, Paige Bueckers is battling the dark forces of apathy in arenas echoing with the sounds of crickets and lost potential.
This is more like it. This is what I expect to see when a major star returns home. Caitlin Clark returned to Iowa yesterday for the first time since she walked away from professional basketball to join the Pretenders in the WNBA dump. And this is no exaggeration. It looked like the entire state of Iowa shut down. The state of Iowa experienced something yesterday that they have never experienced.
That no news on the Chicago Sky game from Friday. No news. No news from the Paige Beckers game on Friday. No news. I'm sure it's going to come out, but when we're not over the moon thrilled with the numbers that we're seeing, when we just can't come out dragging with the numbers.
And let's not pretend like Paige Bueckers is some scrub. This isn't a charity case. This woman has the kind of court vision that could spot your bad decisions before you make them. She moves with precision, handles the ball like it owes her money, and shoots with the confidence of someone who knows she's been underestimated. And yet, the seats stay empty, the crowd stays quiet, and the ticket prices stay at pay-what-you-want levels.
Paige Bueckers has been there for 5 years, going to be on her 5th year. Her highest viewed game was against Caitlin Clark. Never drawn 1 million viewers for a game on TV. No one from UConn has followed all these previous stars from UConn to the WNBA. And they have produced more stars and more WNBA players probably than anyone in the league. Paige Bueckers is not all of a sudden going to draw 1 million viewers for TV games.
It's almost like the public needs to be spoon-fed who to care about. Caitlin Clark got the spotlight, the marketing machine, and the press eating out of her hand. She deserves it, no doubt, but somewhere along the way, the narrative turned into a solo act. The WNBA has plenty of talent, but only one name is being shouted from the rooftops. Everyone else? They get politely mentioned if there's space at the bottom of the article. The comparison to Tom Brady is eerily accurate. Brady won, and people still acted like he was the human embodiment of tax season. Clark is packing stadiums, creating a frenzy, and still gets side-eyed by press gremlins trying to invent scandals out of assist ratios. The fact versus fiction game is strong with this one. The media wants to control the storyline, but reality has a jump shot and a better three-point percentage. Meanwhile, Paige is out here grinding. No drama, no diva energy. Just showing up, balling out, and waiting for someone to notice. But unfortunately, in a world where clout is currency, consistency doesn't get a seat at the VIP table. The irony? She plays with the kind of heart that should be selling out arenas by itself. But heart doesn't trend. Flash does.
So, how many people do you think attend a WNBA game?
Dude, if Caitlin Clark's there, it's so...
This whole thing begs the question, what exactly are people showing up for? Is it the basketball? Or is it the spectacle? Because if it's about the game, then Paige Bueckers should be front and center. But apparently, fundamentals don't sell tickets. Narratives do. And right now, Paige is stuck in the subplot while Caitlin's storyline gets its own streaming series. Imagine telling someone from 5 years ago that an elite-level baller would debut and the most exciting thing in the building would be the sound of the janitor polishing unoccupied rows. And this isn't a knock on Paige. It's a knock on how predictably lazy the audience and media have become. They want viral moments, not virtuosity. They want catchphrases, not chemistry. Paige gives them old-school excellence, and they respond with, "Meh, where's the TikTok highlight?" Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark could shoot a layup, and someone would write a sonnet about it. The entire economy of WNBA social media hinges on whether Clark blinked during warm-ups. Don't get it twisted, she's phenomenal. But the obsession is starting to make everyone else look like unpaid interns in their own careers.
The game was roughly almost 800 tickets shy of being sold out for Paige Beckers' debut at the College Park Center.
And poor Paige, she's out here playing 4D chess with her game, only to have the crowd consist of the arena staff, a confused pigeon, and that one friend who promised they'd come if they weren't busy. She deserves more, way more. But this is America, where hype eats merit for breakfast, and attention spans are shorter than a commercial break. Maybe Paige Bueckers should start dunking while reciting viral tweets, or get into a fake feud with someone on Twitter. Apparently that's how you earn a crowd these days. Talent alone? That's so 2003. You need a storyline, a scandal, or a slow-motion reel set to inspirational music. Being incredible at basketball isn't enough. You have to be meme-worthy. It's almost tragic how quickly the WNBA has become a one-woman show. Caitlin Clark might be filling arenas, but it shouldn't be at the expense of everyone else getting ghosted by their own fans. This isn't basketball. This is narrative farming. And if your story doesn't sell, neither does your jersey. Paige deserves her moment. She deserves to walk into a stadium and hear the kind of deafening roar that makes your soul vibrate. Instead, she gets echo acoustics and polite clapping. Maybe if she changed her name to Paige Clark Bueckers, someone in the marketing department would remember she exists.
The average ticket price for this game, sky high, $670 according to Vivid Seats, and it seems like it was worth every single penny.
It was definitely worth every single penny. There were fans traveling from Arizona to come see this game. A lot of fans that Scott and I talked to said, yeah, we paid a lot for this one. But not only did they just want to watch Caitlin Clark in the Fever, they wanted their own.
Ion Network heard saying a sold-out crowd here at College Park, except it wasn't so.
At this rate, the league might need to issue free emotional support fans to players not named Caitlin. Something to remind them they matter too. Because right now, the hierarchy is clear and it has less to do with skill and more to do with the latest trending headline. Paige Bueckers didn't just walk into a half-full arena, she walked into a glaring reminder that talent isn't always enough, at least not when the press can't monetize it. But hey, maybe it'll all change. Maybe the media will remember that the WNBA has more than one star. Maybe fans will realize that greatness isn't limited to whoever got the most YouTube views last week. Or maybe, just maybe, Paige will keep playing like a boss, winning like Brady, and ignoring the noise like the real MVP she is. Because if there's one thing Paige Bueckers knows how to do, it's show up, even when the seats don't. And so there Paige Bueckers stood, center court, ready to dazzle. The lights were bright, the shoes were laced, the sweatbands matched her jersey. There was just one tiny problem. The crowd looked like it had been evacuated. Rows of empty seats stretched out like a ghost town's front porch. It wasn't just a bad turnout, it was a participation award in the form of silence. You could practically hear a hot dog sneeze in the concession stand. Meanwhile, across the league, Caitlin Clark can't even sneeze without someone trying to frame it and sell it for $500 on eBay. Her games are sold out like it's Beyoncé's farewell tour. Ticket prices? Let's just say it's cheaper to get courtside seats to a Lakers game than nosebleeds to a Clark show. There are people taking out payday loans just to afford parking at her games. Caitlin doesn't just bring a crowd, she brings an economic boom.
Know that there is a double standard when you want to compare Caitlin Clark to Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers was proclaimed the Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. Paige Beckers was proclaimed generational. Paige Beckers was proclaimed box office. Paige Beckers was said to be just as good as Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about this conversation because from what I saw, and I watched the game, Paige Beckers is not even the same.
And poor Paige, she brings echoes, literal, actual echoes. The kind of crowd turnout you'd expect at a Tuesday night poetry slam hosted by your dentist. The cameras awkwardly pan across the arena, desperate to avoid showing the fact that a small-town farmer's market has more foot traffic. What happened here? It's not that Paige isn't talented. Oh, she is. She's got handles, she's got a jumper, and she moves like she's being controlled by an NBA 2K glitch set to God mode. She's good, real good. But apparently, in today's media circus, talent alone is about as useful as a phone without Wi-Fi. If you're not drawing drama, stirring social media meltdowns, or breaking scoring records like they're breadsticks, the crowd just isn't coming. This whole situation is starting to resemble the Tom Brady phenomenon. Remember how the guy won everything? Rings, records, hearts of people who like their quarterbacks shaped like Greek statues. But the press, they treated him like he stole Christmas, constantly nitpicking, downplaying, inventing storylines about deflated balls while the guy was busy rewriting the NFL's record books. That's Caitlin Clark. She's the WNBA's Tom Brady, if Brady also had a jump shot that violated several laws of physics. Clark shows up, does the impossible, leaves defenders questioning their career choices, and still, there are think pieces asking if she's too confident. Meanwhile, Paige shows up to a crowd you could fit in an Uber XL and gets nothing but crickets and a pity clap from her mom.
One preseason game you can't tell everything from one preseason game. But my problem with Paige Beckers is that she's in a situation where she's not going to succeed unless she makes it. She makes herself succeed.
It's almost like the league can't decide whether they want a superstar or just a nice girl who plays well with others. Caitlin is out here like, sorry, I didn't come to bake cookies. I came to break ankles. And the media's like, but could you smile a little softer while doing it? Paige, on the other hand, plays great, stays quiet, and is treated like a supporting cast member in a movie she helped produce. And look, it's not Paige's fault. She doesn't control the ticket sales or the lukewarm PR campaigns. What she does control is her game, and she delivers. But right now, the marketing team seems to be promoting her like she's the opening act for a bar mitzvah DJ. Caitlin Clark's marketing? That's Madison Avenue meets Super Bowl commercial. Explosive, in your face, and designed to make you mortgage your house for courtside access. The difference is night and day. When Caitlin plays, the energy in the arena is so electric you could power a small town. When Paige plays, the arena looks like it's been prepped for a fire drill. The same league, the same sport. But the fan engagement couldn't be more lopsided if it tried. It's not about race, it's not about skill, it's about narrative. Caitlin Clark has been cast as the disruptor, the prodigy, the next big thing. Paige? She's stuck in that weird limbo of respectable but ignorable. And the league, instead of capitalizing on having multiple stars to build an empire, seems content putting all their chips in one basket, and then wondering why no one shows up when Paige is carrying the ball.
Can't sell out Paige Beckers' home debut, her season opener, and her home debut. We can't even sell that out. Oh, good.
You'd think someone in the WNBA PR department would look at the empty seats and realize, maybe we should give this girl a little more spotlight. Maybe remind the world that just because Caitlyn's the headline doesn't mean Paige should be the footnote. Because right now, she's getting treated like the salad at a BBQ, technically present, but no one's excited about it. Let's not pretend the fans are completely blameless either. Half of them follow whatever's trending and treat Paige's highlights like deleted scenes from a forgotten documentary. But the other half, the real basketball lovers, they're frustrated. They see the talent. They know what she brings to the court. And they're wondering why the league can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Why does supporting Caitlyn have to mean ignoring Paige? Why does one crowd get a stadium and the other gets a classroom turnout? The WNBA has a chance to build something massive here. They've got multiple talents, big personalities, unique stories, and yet they keep choosing to ride one wave while letting the others crash silently into the shore. So now Paige is left with the frustration of doing everything right and still playing to a crowd that feels like a rehearsal dinner. Meanwhile, Caitlyn can't even warm up without half the country tuning in and the other half writing dissertations about her attitude.
I thought tickets were selling out fast for Dallas for Paige Beckers. According to ESPN, her first home game was nearly 1,000 tickets away from being sold out in an arena that seats just 7,000. There were people out there believed this game should have been moved to American Airlines Arena, where the Mavericks play. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would have looked?
It's time the league realized you don't build dynasties on one superstar. You build it on depth, variety, and the recognition that greatness comes in many forms. Caitlyn might be the headliner, but Paige is not background noise. She's a symphony. She just needs the lights turned up and the mic unmuted. And maybe, just maybe, the next time she steps onto the court, she won't be greeted by empty seats and forgotten cheers. Maybe the arena will finally sound like it believes in her as much as her stat line does.